going to talk about a rat race. So a rat race can be defined as a race where lots of people are running without actually knowing why. And this is typically the case with a lot of competitive examinations in India, like your medical, engineering entrance examinations, millions of people studying, and the end results do not actually make sense for them. They're doing it because they see a lot of their peers doing the same. So what's worse about a rat race is that no one actually ever wins a rat race. So it's like a tragic, ironic situation where we often find ourselves trapped, as I certainly did. So this struck me when I was in my third year in IIT Delhi. Now what happened was I was a bright student, went from one competitive environment to another hyper-competitive environment in IIT, solid. Right? Now what happened was I started studying, and there were a lot of people who were clearly smarter than me. And I started struggling with my grades. So there was one instance, there was an exam. It was a 30-mark exam. I felt, the Mr. Confident that I am, I felt solid about it. I felt I'll score like 25, 26, maybe more. But when the results came out, I scored 1.5. So it was not just bad that I was not studying properly. It was worse because I did not know when I'm wrong. So what transpired was, it was a depressing situation. There were a lot of frantic phone calls to my mom that, Mom, I probably do not belong here. Let me do something else, so on. So one day, out of the blue, I walk into an ashram. And there I saw a monk who had been a previous TEDx speaker. He seemed wise. I felt that he might know a thing or two about life. So I shared my predicament with him that, I'm kind of feeling this depression. And he said, and I quote, Chitransh, I think you're meant for something else in life. It's like a monkey trying to compete with fish at swimming. So what I realized that in that analogy, I was the monkey. And what it really meant was that you should actually define your own race. Do not let the race define you. Now, a question might come in like, why do these rat races exist? So I have a theory behind it. The theory goes that as humans, we have a tendency to think about the world in structures and systems. These structures and systems make the world around us more comprehensible, believable, conceivable. But the reality is, the world around is unstructured, chaotic, random, right? Now, more often than not, what these structures do is they make us believe or disbelieve in our potential. It's like a self-imposed constraint, if I may. Let me give you an example. So, the idea of success in life is generally handed over to us by our peers or our parents. What it means to be successful. Does it just mean a coveted job, money, fame, or a beautiful spouse? It might mean a lot of things to a lot of people. But more often than not, since we are thinking in a structured way, the same set of goals become more desirable because everyone starts chasing the same set of things. So for example, giving back to the previous example, the same jobs become more coveted, the same money and fame is more desired, and it's almost impossible to date good-looking people. Now what happens is, because of these structures, we actually limit our own potential. Now, let me give you an example. So this is an anecdote from one of my favorite authors, Franz Kafka's parable called Before the Law. So Kafka narrates a story about a man. And this man goes in front of a great door seeking the law. Now, outside that door, there's a gatekeeper who's sitting. And the gatekeeper tells the man that it is not possible to enter right now. The man is intentional, and he wants it really badly, so he waits. And the gatekeeper, seeing the man wait, also waits. This goes on. And the man repeatedly asks the gatekeeper that, will he be allowed to enter or not? And the gatekeeper again and again says that this is not the right time to pass. And a long time passed, and the man is actually on his deathbed. And on his deathbed, he realizes something. That why was he the only one seeking the law from that gatekeeper? So for one last time, he goes in front of the gatekeeper asking the same, that why was I the only one seeking the law? And the gatekeeper says that because this gate was only meant for you to pass. And once you die, I'll close this gate forever. So two things come out of this. One, the man considered gatekeeper with absolute authority. He never overstepped his authority. He completely believed in the authority. He completely believed in the structure of the gatekeeper, authority, and everything else. What it also meant was the man was not able to achieve what he desired the most in his life because he believed in a structure. So really think about, take a step back. Think about that the race that you're running in, and everyone is this your own race? Or is it a derivative of a certain structure? Now, how do we, so it's similarly the case with a rat race. A rat race is a race where rats do not ever own up its race. They are actually in a structure running around in circles that are defined by a human being. Now, how do we come out of a rat race? One way to think about is really ask the question, why not? The answer to the question would be typically very innovative, imaginative, brilliant, or it might be downright stupid. Whatever will happen, you'll definitely be outside this rat race. So let me give you an example. So let's talk about hot dogs. So there's a very famous hot dog eating competition in the US. Typically, you would imagine guys like these to be winning the competition, typical winners. But in 2001, Kobayashi-san, he's a Japanese dude, and he won the competition. And he did not just win it. He ate 50 hot dogs in under 12 minutes, breaking the previous record of 25.5. Not even breaking it, it's shattering. He doubled it. So how do you do it? So Kobayashi-san developed this whole process behind scientific competitive eating. So what he did was, he did not eat the hot dog just like that everyone else was eating, right? So he separated a bun and separated a sausage. So he ate all the buns together by mashing them into water, and then he ate all the sausages together. So the idea is that mouth or your entire digestive tract develops familiarity with certain set of foods. So once it does, so it processes them faster. So the idea was to move the maximum food through this digestive tract. And he won. He developed, and over the next 6 years, he repeatedly broke his own records. So what this really means is, it's important to develop a fresh perspective, a new perspective. It will make you a cat in the rat race. Always remember that the one who wins a rat race is a cat, a higher predatory species, which finds opportunity when everyone else is running around in the same circles. So today, aspire to inspire someone to become a cat just like you. Thank you.